We're in Galway at the museum, and it's Traveller History Month. I believe Navan, I'm sure it's written there, but I think Navan is running it. But I'm joined with Bridget Kelly. The people who are watching what's happening.
Today is the Traveller Pride event here in Galway City, and it's about promoting Traveller culture, history and our identity. So today we have Michael McDonough and the Meath project down promoting the living history experience. So as you can see from here, we have the Bard's Hut Wagon. This is where we stayed years ago, and you know, all the families, and so we're promoting the wagon here today.
Not all the families stayed in there.
No, not all, but
they had their own wagon.
They had their own wagon, no, but they all had their own wagons, you know what I mean? So it's having the wagon on display today for everyone that wants to.
These were life-saving homes for people, weren't they?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
You know, when they know where else to go, right from place to place.
They managed years ago with big families inside of them, where now, you know, they have a bit more space. But
well, I've actually noticed that they were saying that the 1953 report was saying mental health was better for travellers 53. And now we've a 7% higher national rate of suicide.
That's right, yeah.
So to give you an idea of the impact the state is having on travellers.
But even that policy they brought in around the trespass legislation as well, you know, where travellers can't travel now anymore, do you know what I mean? And that had a detrimental impact on our community. And I'm sure it had a big impact on the suicide rate as well within our community. It did, like, you know.
Oh, absolutely.
But anyway,
and that was one particular law, just against travellers, not certain people, nobody else.
It was aimed at travellers and completely discrimination against our community. Do you know what I'm saying?
And that's been challenged, is it? Well, it should be, yeah.
Should be, yeah.
I think it could be,
I assume it is now.
Tell us anyway about what's this thing.
And also then today we have the flash, that's the flash cart. And then we have the small bird.
Is that for children? Is that a child's wagon?
No, I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't say so, no, to be honest. But again, years ago we used to
Did we have hobbits? Maybe we had hobbits here, probably.
Probably did. It's very small. That's only a miniature wagon now that we've on display here today.
And this is the cart.
And that's the cart in years ago. I forget years ago down in Balmain, my grandmother had one of them. And she used to bring us out the country down in Innistrown and all the places.
Not like it.
I tell you, and she used to have the old hay and the tin buckets on the back as well. And that's the way it was for all of community members.
And you think you'd be going to speed a light on it, yeah?
I used to love going off with her in it. Not person did that, but they were lovely. And then we have just the Voice to Travel magazines.
This is a traveller only magazine, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right, yeah. So we're promoting that here today, just for all the magazines down through the years. So we just have those on
Around
display.
a very familiar face.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
This is Michael McDonough here. Michael is
how are you, sir?
he's also known as the King of the Travellers.
No royalty here at all.
Come here, tell us. But actually, one time there would have been a bit of nobility, wasn't there?
There wasn't.
Yeah.
We're going back, man. But sure, look at.
We'll leave that behind us.
We'll leave all them piece strokes.
Yeah. We'll bring the good pieces of our culture.
Why not?
That's it. You can see Annie up there promoting all the lovely flowers, the paper flowers. Yeah.
You lived in a wagon, Michael, did you?
As a child.
Briefly, anyway, these
What happened
experiences.
was we were going to school, and when we get to summer holidays, as we go with the grandfather, and so we thought this was the bee's knees, and he lived in a wagon. So we get off to go for him the summer holidays, and we in the wagon. And sure,
This is the equivalent of a luxury hotel or a holiday.
Stop. So we were always with the horses at that time, you know. But that's gone back a good few years now. It was a good few years for that. But I have to say, people will be very surprised how warm them wagons actually are.
Yeah.
You can light a fire inside them. There's a wee stove in that as well. And a little queen stove in that, and burning.
Bring us over and take us and talk us to us.
You'll be a welcome guest. Come on.
We'll give us a tour of the wagon now. Show all how it was 2 years ago.
10 years ago. There was 4 families around in them wagons. Go ahead in, sir, if you want to. Go ahead. Hide the box. The whole fill of the box. Bring it on. Turn that box upside down, young lady.
Come in for a cup of tea.
Oh, turn it upside down. Oh!
The wagon's rocking now. Rock me like a wagon wheel, I'm telling you.
See, the managed years go inside
You could imagine 2 wee yellow doors, you see them?
Yeah,
They'd open up, and there was a bed made in there for the babies.
Oh, yeah,
And that's where the babies slept.
I was often
The
wondering
big
how
boys
they
and
managed.
girls are sleeping in the tent out here.
It's almost equivalent size to most campers.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
Wouldn't it be,
yeah.
Do you think there will ever be a place, a set museum for travellers?
Well, I think that would be a fantastic thing. And one of the projects that we're working on at the moment ourselves is the development of a national heritage park for travellers. And like we have the land, so let's have a look and see how we can develop it. You know,
That would be amazing.
and that's one of the projects we have. And we've just completed a feasibility study on it. So we're looking at that as a possibility for the future. Get employment for travellers on it as well, like, you know.
And one of the things I've been saying for quite a while, I'm sure you've been saying, it's not just a traveller settled thing. It's an Irish history, it's a shared history.
Very much Irish history.
It's slightly distinct, but that's okay too. But it's a very Irish history, isn't
Travellers
it?
are part of traveller history is Irish history. That's the reality of it, you know. So I think that it's important for people to understand that. And travellers are very much part of history. As you go. And like if you go back far enough, I'm sure like there was more nomadic people than just the travellers. Like even the Thatchers, the different people before they start to settle down, and then our travellers just kept going a bit longer. That's all, you know.
We're into the sightseeing.
But this wagon you're in at the moment is a traditional Irish traveller Newry wagon.
I believe it or not,
Newry wagon.
Even the design on the outside,
Yeah.
like that's not artwork and everything.
Oh, yeah, that's
Did
nice
all the
work.
families years ago do that? Michael? Did
This-
they do the
this
whole
is-
design
this
on the
wagon,
workshops?
compared to other wagons, is extremely dull.
Yeah.
They're very decorative and a lot of artwork on them. Now we put new weatherboards on that, so that's why there's no design around that, but that should be all designed. And so as well, the shaft should be all designed.
You mentioned the specific type of wagon a minute ago. I'll tell you why, because my granduncle Tom was talking and he was reflecting years ago, and he said there was a particular kind of wagon because it was the wood, and if you had that particular brand,
That's right. People get surprised. There's different models of wagons, and as I says, this is a Newry model based on the Newry model, and that small miniature one over there, see it? That's actually a Welsh wagon called an open loss. That's a model of
would
one.
that have been a standard size wagon for the Welsh?
No. No, we're moving in that road. No, that's a little model wagon. Kind traveller man gave that to me one day.
Beautiful.
And that's called an open loss. And then you had the square one, which was called a reed wagon. It's the English gypsy wagon. What we do. And then this one here is, if you notice, the four wheels are very similar in size. And the older ones, that's called a lorry. And the older one would have very high wheels at the back. And that was called a common wagon. This is a barrel top one.
That's the barrel top one. And the barrel top one was
More longer the wagon. And that's a family size wagon.
They're more the traditional ones.
Now, these are not original. They're there for your safety, that's all.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have had them. Oh no, that's what we're doing.
Michael, how long was your organisation in existence?
Our organisation,
As you were with the Navan
Travellers Workshop.
Yeah.
Meath Travellers Workshop. It would be well over, we were set up in 1966.
Wow.
So it's over 50 years in existence. It's one of the oldest continuous organisations in the country, and has moved and taken shape and developed in different ways. Today it's a community development organisation, and it's a traveller-led organisation, which is very important. we feel.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so we celebrated our 50th anniversary there not so long ago, and we had a big do on it.
Congratulations.
50 years. So we're about 52 years in existence.
And you've written a couple of books, haven't you?
We have read a bit of stuff, like, you know, over the years, we've added to different things that's happening, you know, and even the work we do around the summer projects, and now what we focus a lot now on is around the history and heritage and culture of travellers and the language of travellers, which we feel is a very important piece because we've lost so much. And let's try and hold on to what we have and hold on to it properly, I'm saying that.
Yeah.
And so we've been doing a bit of work on that at the moment.
Well, keep up the good work.
I will indeed, sir.
And the one thing I have to say is that with your organisation, because I'm quite familiar with it, particularly around how you deal with conflict, how you deal with a multitude of issues.
Yes, we do. Indeed.
And as far as I'm concerned, you'll be kind of second to none.
Not a Margaret, thanks very much. You're a gentleman.
So I know you around. I'll meet up again later on with you, right?
You're a gentleman.
Catch you soon, my friend. Hello.
This is Vivian, she's working in the Galway Traveller Movement.
Hello, Vivian, how are you?
Development worker. So I'm just going to bring you over here now and we'll show you the tents as well. I'm ready to go down with.
Well, you might get the brown bread, but you won't get the garlic.
No, Annie, that's not good enough.
I know it's bad.
Travel women brought many skills to travel culture, and actually I'd say they're pretty much the backbone in some ways, because they weren't just women, they were active, they were business women, they were equals.
Yeah. They were, as you said, Mara, they were kind of the backbone to the family. They were kind of pushing them in as well for maybe to go out the country. And do you know what I'm saying? They helped out a lot. They done a lot with the children and everything, but also they would have went out the country to families in the countryside selling tin buckets and even, going out selling a bit of stuff. And even what it wasn't money exchange, what it was food exchange, or it could be something that the families might have clothes or food from the country people in the houses. And basically then, so they were the backbone, to be honest with you, when it came to travel culture.
And some of the trades, it was flowers, but it was
the paper making as well.
But yeah, they did various different trades, like the word,
different trades as well. The travel women used to make the paper flowers, so in the evening time they would be there sitting down with the children and making the paper flowers, and then they'd go out in and sell them out the country. Then what they used to do was the apron making as well. So they sew all the buttons on, the big gathering buttons and whatever, and they'd sew them on the aprons as well. And they used to use them, sell them, and also they used to keep them as well. Some of them used to keep them themselves as souvenirs.
And quilts was the big thing.
And the quilts as well, that's right for it.
I've seen a couple of them over times lately, absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, they're nice to have, like, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of hard work went into them. These are the display of the paper flowers, as you can see. Some women used to use the, years ago anyway, and I used to see my grandmother, she used to get the colour toilet paper. And it was a cheaper way, but they used to use it, and she'd sit in the kitchen and she used to roll, and it was the same for all traveller women, not just now, I'm just saying, but it was the colour toilet paper, or even this colour paper you can get today, and then they'd wrap it all around, and then they'd use now my grandmother used to use the wire. It was, as you can see under this here, there was a little bit of, it's colour coded now, but back that time they didn't have this colour paper. It was more this kind of wire that you used. And again, they used to go out the country and sell it, and the money that they get, or there mightn't even be money, it might be food or spuds or whatever.
The possibility that
it was just about survival, really.
The possibility that travel women introduced artificial flowers then. You know,
yeah, definitely.
Because they're operating long before days of plastic, weren't they?
Yeah, definitely were, yeah. And these are the aprons then here, as you can see. There's all different colour buttons here, and different shapes and different sizes. So the women used to do this as well, and as I said, used to sell them and promote them, and also they used to wear them themselves.
The buttons would use as decorations.
The buttons would use as decorations here, and then again they used to. Some women mightn't have had this fancy lace back in the day, but they might have a different kind of material that they'd use. And then they bring in all the popular colours then as well. So the reds, the yellows, the blues, and the whites. They were very strong colours, as you can see, and they were the colours that were used a lot.
Beautiful.
Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? So there's
and Canting Macaulay.
And then Canting Macaulay, this is a book written by Michael O'Hida. I'm not good at Irish, but anyway. So basically it's a cant and gammon book that was wrote by him.
Very interesting.
Yeah, we have that on display as well. And then over here then we have the cake bread here. And this is I might even get Annie to talk to you a bit about how she makes the bread, because I to be honest with you now, I'm no good at baking, but I can barely cook an egg. I'm still learning. No, but I'm no good at baking, to be honest. And then you have the treacle bread as well, and then scones, and then we have more brown bread here.
I suppose
I'll actually get Annie to come over and talk to you.
Can do, yeah.
So she's over there. Annie! Okay. It's lovely.
Absolutely delicious. That's a dare actually, isn't it?
Talking here about bacon.
I'm shy.
You're shy. You're not shy at all.
Kathleen, you're with the Galway Traveller Movement?
I am indeed, Bernard.
And did you bake these cakes?
I didn't. I can't take credit now for that.
Very
It
good.
was Annie McDonough. But she's up all night. She didn't go to bed yet.
Oh God, love her.
And then they'd have the Pacific trays. Then they wouldn't use trays back in the day. It was actually a big pan that they used.
Big pan.
It was the big pan, and they used galvanized pan that they would have used for to bake the bread on top of the fire then years ago. That's how they used to cook it. stuff like that. So they were there, but as very hygienic. But they still managed, even in harder times when they didn't have the big fancy cookers or the big stoves that they have today.
That's
Do you
it,
know what
yeah.
I'm saying? Back in the day, they had to do it on a fireside put.
suppose
With sure
that-
steam and all that kind of stuff. And they had the skillet pots as well, where they used to put the cake bread into as well. Say the ticker bread now, to make it thicker. They used to put it into the skillet pots, and they'd have the black lid as well that would go down over it. And then for the flan bread here, this bread here, which was actually flatter, that would have been done more in the pan. Like it was more like a pan that was put over the fire as well. So it wasn't as thick, but it was quicker to cook as well.
Very good.
And they didn't have the fancy jam that we have today. But anyway, we have it today. But it was the country butter they used to
That's
have
right.
years ago. Do you remember that? They used to have the country butter years ago, and even the duck eggs and stuff like that. They weren't. You know.
That's all I could hear my father shouting for years. Get the country butter. Make sure it's
my father was the
good.
same way though.
And then, of course, when you eat the country butter yourself because you weren't used to it,
I
I'd be cursing the country butter.
That's all they want with the cake bread is a bit of country butter.
That's right.
That's the truth, yeah.
Over here we got
Annie.
Annie, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Annie, how are you?
Hiya.
You baked all these cakes.
Yeah.
Are you selling them?
No.
Good.
Do you just want to take us through to talk about
After all that work.
Well, my mother used to do it. I see my mother do it, but my mother used to make the griddle bread on the griddle out in the open fire, and she was making it in the oven. She'd put the coals in the top and the bottom,
Yeah.
and the griddle went underneath. So now we do it in the pan. Me and my sisters, we do it in the pan. Most travellers in the pan.
Yeah.
I finish it off in the oven. The other bread in is the quota cake and the brown brack. That's the brown brack. The quota cake is down there. And there's treacle bread there as well. It's in the box. And this is my own version of
Any special.
Annie
carrot
special.
and orange.
Will you tell us
Do you want to tell us about your any special? What have
the
you got
ingredients?
inside?
Orange, carrots, and just the orange juice. And it's just bones. But then I did this one here is carrot cake with orange.
Very nice.
And what else have I put it?
Yeah,
The
the
cakes
treacle
again.
bread.
The lemon and coconut cakes. These are on my own, like I'm always experimenting.
Good woman. Any complaints? Any food poisoning? Anyone die?
Not yet.
All right, good. We'll keep up the good work.
That's the last thing I need after no night's sleep.
If you see someone crouching over with the tummy, run.
I don't want to talk to Martin around the men's, around.
The square like it was made for us.
Yeah,
It's
it was lovely
beautiful.
and the weather and everything. I'm just
Absolutely
saying, like,
beautiful.
once the rain and stuff stays away, we're not too bad.
I
You know
love
what I'm saying?
the way the wagon's up against that wall there.
Yeah,
It's
it's
kind of
lovely.
a castle look to it.
Yeah, it really is nice, I have to say. It's very nice.
Put a few of these on.
I was going to show him the tinsmithing and stuff here. So here, Bernard. Then years ago, then as well, say my grandfather learned from them and all the men back in the day to try and survive. They used to make the tin cups. They used to make them out of tin, and they had special tools. But to be honest with you, what I seen was a hammer, and actually it was this here. They used to actually put I seen Tom McDonald out doing it. I never seen my grandfather do it. They used to put the tin around here and to tap it away then with the
Get the hammer and beat it
the
a little
hammer
bit.
and breathe it in and put it in shape. But I have to, they used to sell them then to, out the country to try and live and survive and to try and create an income, I suppose, for the families years ago. And not alone this, but they used to make the tin buckets as well. These buckets here now, usually there is bigger buckets. But these now, they use them now as sugar canisters today. I do see the women now, traveller women using them today now as sugar canisters or holding tea. But people country people probably use them for holding stuff, sugar or whatever like that. Do you know what I'm saying? But again, like as you can see, there's a lot of detail put into that.
Wouldn't it be nice
and
seeing
even
time
the
where
grows.
to be seeing time where travellers had their own online selling artefacts and
Bernard, in all fairness, we don't see many of our own young people making tin buckets today.
Yeah.
And I do think the young people should start taking up this skill, because that was a skill that our grandfathers and and their fathers before them and grandfathers had this tradition, and they should try and keep it alive. But it is kind of becoming extinct because we only have about 3 or 4 tinsmiths left now in Ireland at the moment. Do you know what I'm saying? So I do think more travellers, young men and women, should pick up, learn the skill with the tinsmiths at the moment and how to.
it'd be nice to see kind of initiatives
keep it
encouraging
going,
travellers to
try
come
to
in
keep-
and
keep
sell
it
them
going.
online and stuff like this.
No, I know some organisations are looking into trying to create initiatives to try and keep this skill going. but we need the interest from the community as well.
That's it,
Do you know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We need buy-in from the community as well. So I do think it's a skill that needs to be kept going, because again, like it's an area where an income can be generated from it as well. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah.
But also, this is another design in here. Sorry, no, this is different. You don't have the big tin bucket. You know the big one. You have one of them. This is another one here then as well. So I'd say this was used for milk or something for holding it. You can see inside there as well. A lot of detail, and then all the swirls and stuff inside there as well.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, like the skill that it takes to make that out of just hand tools, no machinery tools or anything. Do you know what I'm saying? So
Was there a
again,
tinsmith due down today?
he's here as far as I know. He's here.
So we might get to see him in
yeah,
action
we get,
later?
Yeah, we get him. He's going to
Brilliant.
do a demonstration, so we get him.
Absolutely brilliant.
Mama wants to buy one of the jokes. Oh, sorry. No, I know. I'm just showing it off. These are the bigger jokes.
It's a bit like the car boot sale.
Fighting over a joke. But these are the bigger jokes, and as you can see there, there's the smaller ones as well. But again, they were the tinsmiths made those, and again, a lot of detail went in here. Look, even like the grooves down along here. I don't know how they managed to. They're done it, you know. Do you know what I'm saying? So, really, really nice. And then you can see the copper. We got you to talk to Bernard here. Bernard, this is the tinsmith here.
How are you?
What's your name?
James Collins.
James Collins. Pleased to meet you, my friend. You're one of the very few tinkers left in the country.
Well, as far as I know, there's only two of us.
Just two of you.
Only just two of us.
My God.
We're working on over the whole country.
Well, you kept busy in the day.
You can't believe it. The last 4 weeks, we never stopped going. With Mike and we've done it here with the wagon and the tent.
Brilliant. Are these some of your work here?
That's some of my work there.
Would you like to talk us through them, maybe?
Do you want to talk us through how you make
Tell them
them?
if there are particular names or styles or
Well, that's the copper ponder there now.
conjure
A ponder to call
or
it.
punger.
Well, the traveller never used to call them ponder, like. You know? That was always a saucepan to us.
Yeah, I
for
got you.
drinking the tea or, do you know what I mean?
It was no big deal.
No big deal at all. That's the one there now. It's near the same as that one there again. That's made out of stainless steel and that's copper.
Which would it be the easier to make, the copper or the?
They're all the same, to be quite honest with you.
Are they? Would
They're all
you,
the
would you,
same.
We still near a shop and we'll get change.
and this one,
That one's the milk jug. And
And
then
how do you know around the grooves there, Jim? How did you manage to do that?
that's double the same now. That's double the same, yeah, waterproof.
Is that?
I'll be making some there.
You make some in a while.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
you
I'll be
show us
making
how to
some.
do it.
Oh, yeah.
Because you know, like it takes a lot of detail, you know, just for it,
Well,
you know.
it does,
There's
but
a lot of detail in that. With the tools that you're using, it's amazing how that you get that
exactly.
finished
Well, I'm at that now since I was 14 years of age.
for a long time now. So
14 years of age.
yeah.
And
And did you learn from your father?
my father never learned me.
Didn't you?
I was that long looking at him.
Thank you for buying.
I was there every day making ribbons for him.
Yeah.
I was that long looking at him.
You
But
learned
I
yourself.
started making them at 14 years of age myself.
But you were just saying there's not many traveller men, or you know, there's not many travellers making them.
Only myself and Tommy Donald. That's all. Michael tried every county in Ireland for another tinsmith. They can't get.
Man is down in it, but he used to make them. I don't know if the man is still making them. And Tom McDonald's on
That's all. I think old Ted now is like myself.
Yeah.
They want a bit over the hill, like, and the old arms in the hill, they keep going, you know what I
Say
mean?
that now. Still like me,
That,
yes.
that's example. Now, we're in Donegal now, we have in Tuesday.
Down there. Traveller Pride events, then you can go down there, yeah.
Michael knows that going down there on Tuesday, and then we're down in Newry, Saturday and Sunday,
Yeah.
next week,
Yeah.
and then we're in Monaghan Town.
Yeah. So, you're on tour. You're a tinsmith on tour.
There's a good job. There's a good job there.
I know, no, you wouldn't be able to manage on your own, but it's good that you know what I'm saying. But you know the big tin bucket, remember the big one with the horseshoe design? Have you got them there?
Sold it, you won it, and I haven't time to make any
Oh,
more.
they're lovely.
I sold it.
Yeah, big tin
Tommy Dolan, he was down here. What was sold?
He was down
The last Windsor Purple.
Yeah, over the west side. He was over
And
there.
he had the buckets.
Yeah. That's right, yeah. That's it.
And then you have the Billy can and you have the Tommy can.
So
did you start off, Jim?
Pardon?
Was it for a trade or was it just for people who needed them, like the family?
I'll tell you, when I was growing up,
Yeah.
My father used to be in that, making that from early morning till dark at night. The Travellers years ago, that was from feeding ourselves. We used to swap that for food. You'd never get any money off them. There was no money to make whatsoever off them, because you used to swap them for food. You say flour,
Yeah.
butter, you know what I mean? Bacon, spuds, cabbage, turnips, all that crack. That's what my mother used to swap that for.
So it was a trade of way of living.
It's
Survival.
Survival. The only few bob you get that time of a farmer had a few buckets for to put bottoms on, or pots, or make them a few buckets already galvanised. You know what I mean? Just the only few.
It wasn't just in tinsmithing Traveller were doing, there was horse trading, wool trading, there were labourers and farm labourers more.
We done that
A
ourselves.
lot of people think, say, tinkers are just tinsmiths. That's not true, is it?
Well, that was the name for the tinsmith.
But they say they did a
Was
multitude,
tinker.
a multitude of trades with
Was a
that.
tinker, you know what I mean? And then other people call them the horse dealers, you know what I mean? They were dealers, used to deal in horses.
That's right.
I mean, all the different names, but the right name for a tinsmith was a tinker.
Yeah.
Was
I'm
a
proud
tinker.
then. Do you get much call, even nowadays?
We
People?
do, yeah. We do.
What's the kind of people that come looking? Is it travellers sometimes? Is it just tourists?
Not that much of travellers now.
Not that much.
More or less now the settled people.
They're more interested
You know
in
what I mean?
keeping
Now
them.
the lads come to us for the make stuff for them, for vintage. You know what I mean? And you have to use the solder. You know what I mean? And the vintage stuff is the old tin, but you can't get that anymore.
I got you.
And that's stainless steel, and that won't take solder.
Very interesting.
That won't take solder.
These,
Well, there's tools in the tools in to make them.
That's the
The
tools
bend,
there.
do you want to do a display difference while you're there?
No problem.
Just while he's video on you there.
No problem at all.
he said he watched his father do it, then he could do it. So pay good attention, you're up next.
I am. I'll record you, Bernard.
I would, I'd run around buy a plastic bucket and paint it silver.
Like myself. One down deal is 150. James, what's the name of this? What's the name of this, sir?
A steak.
A steak.
A steak.
Yeah.
Some people call them an anvil.
Yeah.
They're not an anvil.
No. it's
The
called a
anvil was
steak.
for the blacksmiths.
Yeah.
Or it's always a tinsmith's steak.
Yeah.
Now, them are the only tools that we can't get. Is that
Yeah.
and that. And this little gadget here.
What's that called?
That's the hand steak.
Oh,
There's
yes.
3 steaks.
Yeah.
The steak,
Yeah.
the hatchet steak,
Yeah.
and the hand steak. Now,
Yeah.
you can't bottom a bucket without that.
Yeah. I know
No,
what
when
you
that
mean. Yeah,
goes
for the
inside,
colours.
you imagine playing a bow run, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's that one.
Yeah.
So then with the tools are looking over here, but the line of any the rest of them there, like the snips or the hammers, you get them
And
in
I
any
see you have
hardware.
your own trademark there. You have James.
Yeah.
Look at that. James Collins. He's his own stamp. That was a good idea.
Some of them are doing, more of them are don't.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
just doing nothing yesterday and it was raining. And I went out to the shed
Oh,
and
that was lovely. Well done.
And I put
It's
them
lovely.
together
It's
that
really
way.
nice to do that. Yeah, no, very good, you know. Very good, you know. Yeah, I used to see you walking up and down. Yeah, a few years back. That's right, that was I used to see you. Yeah, you still up there. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's all I just do. Yeah, that's it.
There's only two left in the room that do this.
Please give it out over there, Mike and all in the church. Some fella ring him up, found it in the field. That's what the first thank you stay. That's what he got.
Look, come in, Tommy. Will I get Annie there for you, Tommy? I'll get Annie for you there.
We can put down this. We can put down this.
Can you sing a song, Tommy? No, not that. Annie, where's my photograph?
You're going to buy one there.
1 minute, Tommy. I'll get your photograph.
Get a good one out.
I will.
Make sure the hair's right now.
Annie, is it okay?
Here now, man.
1 minute, I'll ask Annie, is it okay if you take your photo?
Ah, will you stop? Don't go that far. Will you stop in there?
1 minute, here, open this. Annie, good.
You're the one with the shot.
Up in his lap, Annie.
I mean, yeah. Why do you want to get me 20? You want to get me 20 here? Can you give me I'm trying to get
You can tell me I want to get a photograph. Two you together.
Lads, you put
no.
Still like a young couple.
10 of us in the back of the one stage, one door.
See what you're doing, man.
Oh, Annie. Here, Tommy. Smile. Smile on.
Yeah. I may finish off with this.
No, 1 minute. Tommy, put your arm around her, Tommy.
But we are going to get me big tree. You want it? The bag is only down the road. It's not that in between the river.
Here, Annie. Here, Annie.
Can't swim. Point to the bottom.
Here.
Where's your hair? Put my stuff. I don't sleep at all. What? What's in here?
He's not shy. Oh, he knows the camera.
I love the camera. I should have got a cake.
I'm very proud of you, Annie.
Before I leave, yeah. They want to know about
That it, James?
No, unfortunately, we left the bags behind.
That's fine up there in this bed.
Yeah, we have lots of bags.
And how much are they going for, James?
10 for 1 or 2 for 15.
2 for 15. Absolutely beautiful.
No problem at all.
There, that's your 40 back there. Is that right?
How many would you have done in your day?
Thousands.
Thousands.
Hundreds of thousands. Now.
Good man.
That's one question I don't think you could answer.
Endless.
Endless, that's the truth. I do a buckets on coal scuttles and coal buckets. Everyone's going to have time to make for the roof. Which I won't go now nearly twice, 3 times a week.
Oh, and another 2 months to do, 3 times a week. We're in Derry Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
We're in Mon on Monday. You're in Trim tomorrow.
I'm in Trim tomorrow.
You're a busy man.
Yeah. He'll make a festival in Trim.
Somewhere else, you.
Tuesday Donegal
Up where Big Tom is as well, you're going.
and Monaghan. I'm in Castleblaney. I'm in
Castleblaney.
Carrickmacrass. We do them all.
You're doing a tour. Popular man. Keep up the good work with her.
Thanks very much.
God bless you.
You too.
Keep up the good work with you, right? Ella McDonough.
How are you, Bernie? How are
I'm
you?
not too bad. How are you?
I'm grand, thank you very much.
Do you know that you're the queen of the Tinkers?
I didn't know, but I'm glad now. I'm queen over something.
That's it. Well, you've entitled of it. You've one of the oldest organisations in the country.
We are, Bernard. We're I'd say I'm involved since 1981.
Wow.
It's a long, long time ago.
Very, very young when you got involved.
A long time. I was only about 17 years of age.
My God.
And I'm there ever since. And but the organisation itself is in existence since 1963.
Wow.
As a response to remember the Commission of
That's
Vitality?
right, yeah.
And that's what we set up at that time.
And it became one of the first responses then.
Yes.
And
yes.
it's become one of the longest lasting.
We are, and we're actually the longest serving, in my opinion.
And a traveller-run
An actual
organisation.
traveller-led organisation, which is very unusual also.
So in one way, and I wouldn't get too much into it, but it kind of proves the exception to the rule. The travellers can do it.
Travellers are well, and ours is, as I said,
proven.
Yes, we took the full circle. We went from being set up as a response to a situation by good thinking, settled people.
Yeah.
And now we're actually a traveller-led community organisation.
That's brilliant. That's a legacy that you'll leave behind.
Please God,
And
yes,
a good
yes.
example. Tell me.
Side, the traveller life, and we're also here to promote the importance of Irish travellers maintaining their identity with pride. For too long, people felt they had to deny who they were. So today we're in a very busy city with foreigners from all over the world and local people to see the positive side of
It seems
Irish
really a really strong signal to say that actually we're not ashamed of who we are.
No, we are not.
This is why we're here, and we're displaying
And
it.
we have no reason to be ashamed. Our people before us and our forefathers before us, they lived in horrific conditions so that we could be proud and so we could maintain our identity as Irish travellers.
A lot of people too think that travellers is a lifestyle choice, which is not. You could say, give it up, become like us, you have a house, everything's okay. That doesn't work that way,
Not
does it?
at all. In fact, that has caused the horrific mental health issues among travellers. That has been responsible for, because we try to become something we can't and we're not. And we've suppressed our own identity, that where we came from, to fit in with people that we're not. We have to celebrate diversity in this world today. We have to celebrate, and we are Irish travellers and we have to celebrate.
And one important thing that I was speaking to Michael earlier, and I've actually come to this realisation very strongly myself, is that there is no history without travellers. And there is no Irish without traveller, and there's no traveller without Irish.
That's the truth.
It's all incumbent to one.
Exactly, Bernard. We're first and foremost, we are Irish people, and we're Irish travellers. And our identity has been Irish. I'm very proud of my identity as being an Irish person, but I'm equally as proud of being an Irish traveller.
Yeah.
And coming from a community that, despite the horrific discrimination, prejudice, even to this day, Bernard.
That's correct.
I mean, there are many shops up Galway town today that if I walked around that we wouldn't be serving.
But if you look now since 1963, the life expectancy is worse.
Worse.
And that's what you're saying about the system,
exactly.
forcing people.
Exactly, and I think one of the most concerning issues for us as travellers involved in the various organisations around the country is definitely the mental health issues of Irish travellers.
Absolutely.
We have to address them.
Now, I'm going to drag you down memory lane, right? Obviously, you grew up around all of this. You're married to Michael for quite a few years.
45 years, 44 years. Brother.
44 years married. How many in the family?
I have 5 children, I have 10 grandchildren. I have 9 grandchildren, I'm getting my 10th. And it was an arranged marriage. I didn't talk to him for 3 days after I married him. He said it's a pity I ever started. So it's a long time ago. It was an arranged marriage way back in the very early 70s.
Well, even they were still quite common. Mine was arranged marriage, and that was about 20 odd years ago. So, and believe it or not, people think this arranged marriage is a forced thing. It wasn't. It was really good, strong advice.
And they were actually, I actually felt that they put a lot of thought into families that were compatible, families. Okay, not every marriage worked out, but then not everything is 100%.
That's it.
Life.
This is it.
But there was a lot of thought put into it, so it's a long time ago.
I think it was something, and I think it was same with the settlement community. And one way we got to sort of eventually, hopefully, and before that happens, we have to get some kind of recognition for who we are. And the lot we can bring to settlement people. We can tell them about their ancestors,
of course, and
how we lived.
And we can bring wonderful stories, traditional stories about the people, of how they lived in respected family, how family was important, how the preservation of language. Our language was of vital importance and a vital part of our identity. But we carry things through Irish history today that have been suppressed and gone from people. So Irish travellers are contributing to the preservation of Irish history.
I'm definitely going to come up sometime, interview yourself and Michael.
You're very welcome.
Probably lock you in a room, and then when I'm finished with the TUI...
Well, I think it's a good idea, Bart.
Yeah, because it's being recorded.
It's a mistake that we actually made, many years ago, that we didn't. When I think of my mother lived, she was 84 years of age, Bart. And the history that woman had. And one of many other Irish travellers around the country.
I know the one thing about it, is that their history, right? Some of it we know, say the fairies, but that was real to them, and they believed it.
So every camp they went into, there was a ghost, Bernard. And I'd heard one story about a 7-foot-tall man wearing a Macintosh coat, and he had hooves for feet. Every camp they went to had the same thing. Why would they go into the camps? But they believed them, Bernard.
That's right. The fairies.
They believed them.
I remember
the Pishrobes and the Banshee. They had all them.
They say where did the first traveller learn how to be a musician? The fairies taught them.
The fairies taught them. The Banshee, the comb, finding the comb.
That's right.
The hair crossing a woman, or meeting a red-haired woman first thing in the morning, for God's sake. But they were great old people.
But this is it. They're lovely memories to have, and I think recording is important.
He died not knowing A from B. But my father was actually a genius. He could tell you how many square inches a calf would take to cover this ground. And he was an absolute. When you think of what our grandfathers and our parents lived, they were really highly intelligent people. Just because they never went to school didn't mean. In fact, it strengthened their ability.
That's an interesting thing, because that's kind of the one way we weren't totally absorbed by the system. So that means our intelligence was more natural and our education was more natural, yeah?
Without doubt.
That's why I like to keep saying every so often when people mock us about we can't speak good English, I say it's not even our language. Thanks, Peter. Good man.
What's this for?
Well, it depends what you say. If you say something stupid, I'll blackmail you. But apart from that, it's just for a documentary. I let it anyway. What's your first name? Mihal. You're... What?
Yeah, I'm a Gaelegor's an Irish speaker, fluent Irish speaker.
Is that what it is? Yeah. And you teach?
No, I don't teach, no.
And you basically just learned it because you had a passion for it?
Yeah, I went to school in the Gaeltacht. I went to primary school in Navan and I went to school in the Gaeltacht. I went to actually Gaeltacht here in the Aran Islands, which is school.
But so you said in there, and rightly so, I suppose, that both Irish identity and traveller identity are vitally important to you.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
One is the same, but slightly distinctly different, if you get my point, in cultural differences.
Maybe I think it's an Irish traveller. I think Irish is the most important thing for me personally, and then obviously Travellers is up there with it.
Yeah.
But I'm an Irish traveller.
I got you.
But I think I'm very proud of being Irish.
I can tell.
Very proud of being Irish.
I remember your mother, this is your mother, no?
Yeah.
I remember your mother about 15 years ago when I came out to Traveller Flag.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she showed her Irish too.
I have a tattoo on my back.
There was going to be mutiny in the hall. Neil, very nice to meet you, my friend.
There's an eagle in the sky, flying by your shadow golden, where my young Willie lies.
Do you need a lighter for this? Are you sure?
In 300 meters, turn right onto Flood Street, R300.